Tell us about the study showing a reduction in cardiovascular disease when women substituted beef with beans.
This was a study by Bernstein et al., I believe, in 2010. Again, looking at the issue of sources of protein in the diet. This was an analysis of the women's health study, so limited to females. And what was different about the Bernstein study than some of the other studies looking at animal protein is that it focused down to the level of individual foods and looked at shifts in foods over time and how they translated into the rates of heart disease. And the study basically concluded that there were lots of ways to trade up. So going from red meat to poultry was slightly advantageous. Going from red meat to fish was more advantageous. But going from almost any animal source of protein to beans and legumes was most advantageous. And it even appeared that going from fish to beans was advantageous. I would say that's a really interesting topic to discuss a bit further, because one of the issues in nutritional epidemiology that comes up a lot for questions is, what about fish? I'm a vegan, or I want to be a vegan, or I've heard good things about a vegan diet, but I've heard that fish is good for me. So should I be vegan or should I eat fish? And I don't think we know the answer to that question, because we don't yet have studies comparing an optimal whole food plant exclusive diet, so vegan diet, to a very similar diet with a little bit of high quality fish. And the question there would be, if you substitute fish in, you're going to bump out some other calories. So fish in that diet would mean maybe less beans or less lentils. So is that trading up, trading down, or trading sideways? I don't think we know for sure, but the Bernstein study suggested that going even from fish to beans further reduced the rates of heart disease, raising questions about the role of fish if your diet is already optimal. Yeah, eating fish is good for you if the alternative is hamburgers and hot dogs. And most of the evidence we have is in that context. If the background diet is the typical American diet, fish looks really good because it's better than what people are eating. What if the background diet is an optimal plant-exclusive diet? What about that? We don't have the answer, but the Bernstein study showed almost any animal source of protein, substituting the premier plant sources of protein, you're trading up. One other thing to say about that I think is important. Colleagues and I, just within the past year, published a paper in Advances in Nutrition arguing that we should modernize the definition of protein quality, because we in our culture tend to think of high quality protein as meat. And even if you are plant exclusive in your eating habits, you have to put up with that cultural perception. So I ordered a salad for dinner the other night with quinoa in it. And the question my server asked me was, well, do you want protein with that? And what she meant was, do I want fish or poultry put over the top? And my answer was, there is poultry. There is rather protein with that. Quinoa is a quite protein-rich grain or seed. But we've been conditioned to think that high-quality protein sources have to be meat or dairy or eggs. And it's not true. And the other thing that's not true is that these are high-quality foods if your goal is better health. And I think that's everybody's goal. So what we really want is, okay, how can I get all the protein I need from foods that are best for me? I'd like to think about high-quality protein as all the amino acids I need, the concentration of protein I need from a food that is going to make me well, not sick, from a food that's going to contribute to my overall diet quality and the overall quality of my health. And by the way, I kind of like this planet, so I wouldn't mind if you factored into the definition of protein quality environmental impact. Because, for example, the environmental impact of beans relative to beef is massively smaller. That's really important. So less greenhouse gas emissions, less water utilization. These are really important considerations. So we actually proposed a modernization of the very definition of protein quality so that it considers amino acids, all the essential amino acids. It considers the concentration of protein, but it weights even more strongly the net health effects of the food, and it considers the environmental footprint of the food. And the highest quality sources of protein would be those that are good sources of protein, that are actually good for you and by the way, good for the planet too. And I think such an effort is overdue.